Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our class, Art Appreciation. And we are now on our week 3, module 5, Art and the Human Essence. At the end of the chapter, you are expected to relate the study of art to the fields of philosophy and psychology. Identify the human faculties as basis for the appreciation of art. Evaluate works of art according to the 4 levels: perceptual elements, representations, emotional suggestions, and intellectual meaning. And lastly, apply the concept of art as reality to the Renaissance style of art, Cubism, this style, and ready-made art. So just go over it, okay? Just read the overview of this chapter. And we have the learning outcome, should be outcome. Relate the study of art to the fields of philosophy and psychology. And for your references, we have the readings by Dr. Alan Urate and Ernest Gambridge. And also we have the videos to watch. The Dust in the Wind and Magkaugnay. Let's proceed. The basic question in studying humanities is, who am I? And the basic answer to that question is, I am a human being. What is then a human being? A human being is a composition of body and soul. Tayong mga tao, para matawag ka na tao, dapat ikaw ay mayroong katawan at mayroong kaluluwa. Pag nawala ang kaluluwa, ikaw ay hindi tao. Pag ikaw ay walang katawan, ikaw ay hindi tao. There should be body and soul. A human being has 3 human faculties: the mind, the will, and the senses. On the level of the mind, man is capable of reasoning and thinking. On the level of the will, man has emotions and feelings. And on the level of the senses, he is capable of perception and sensing. Therefore, if we look at it on art, it is analyzed based on the 3 human faculties. Tignan natin, no? Isa-isahin natin. Now, there is an anonymous quote that says there is a lot of difference between human being and being human. Now, for your analysis, please come up with a minimum of 50 words on the saying, there is a lot of difference between human being and being human. So what is the difference between human being and being human? Create your own perspective based on this viewpoint. Explain the reason why you gave that answer. So what is on your mind? Okay, so again, the basic question in the humanities is, who am I? And the basic answer to that question is, I am a human being. So what is then a human being? Okay. Let's study the 3 human faculties. The 3 human faculties are the mind, the will, and the senses. On the level of the mind, there is reason and thinking. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, mind, tayong mga tao ay biniyayaan ng Diyos. No? Biniyayaan tayo ng Diyos na makapag-isip. Versus doon sa mga other beings like animals and plants. They don't have the capabilities to reason out. They don't have the capabilities to think. Kasi hindi sila binigyan ng Diyos ng pag-iisip. Will. If there is will, there is emotion. And if there is emotion, there is feeling. Diba? Tayo rin mga tao ay binigyan ng Diyos ng emotion. Okay? Ng karamdaman, no? As opposed doon sa other beings. Diba? Pag sinipa mo yung yung halaman, hindi naman yan magagalit sa'yo kasi wala siyang emotion. 'Di ba? Pero pag sinipa ka ng kaibigan mo, natural, magagalit ka. 'Di ba? Kasi meron kang pakiramdam. Okay? Senses. We have, if there is senses, there is perception, there is sensing. Okay? So, what are those six senses? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and imagination. So, perception, if there is there is an eye, okay, there is sensation. Okay? Ears, nose, tongue, skin, imagination, then you can sense, you can feel. Okay? Sa sensing, then there is seeing. Okay? Pag ikaw ay may mata, then ikaw ay nakakakita. Pag ikaw ay mayroong tenga, ikaw ay nakakarinig. Okay? Nose, smelling. Tongue, ikaw ay mayroong panlasa. Skin, okay? Meron kang touch. Okay? Imagination, then there is a sense of imagining. Okay, so those are the three human faculties: the mind, the will, and the senses. Let's analyze the art based on the three human faculties. On the level of the senses, we have the perceptual elements. It says here the sense data. Now, what are the sense data? We have the lines, the color, the shapes, etc. So, ito yung mga nakikita natin. No? Ito yung mga nakikita natin, for example, sa isang painting. No? We can analyze the lines, the shapes, the colors. That's why, minsan makikita natin, bakit sa isang painting ay masyadong malago or masyadong makulay ang yellow, ang orange, no? Okay, bakit malaki yung shapes na itong circle? Okay? So we can easily identify sa isang certain painting. Okay, kasi nakikita natin. No? There is a sense data. Okay. On the representations, we have the things, people, objects, and events. Like for example, sa isang painting, no, nakita mo nandoon si Jollibee. Okay? Nakita mo nandoon si Jollibee. So perhaps there is an event. Okay? Perhaps there is a birthday. Okay? So there is a representation of people, objects, and events. So perhaps mayroon doon mga party, no, may mga balloons. Okay. And on the level of the will, it is emotional suggestions. So what does it suggest? For example, may nakita kang painting, tapos mayroong nakalagay na kabaong. So what does it suggest? Okay? It suggests sadness. Okay? It suggests sadness. Perhaps it suggests also afraid, kakatakot. Okay? So that is the emotional suggestion. Okay, on the level of the mind, there is an intellectual meaning. Ideas, concepts, and symbolism. Okay. Again, meron kang nakitang bulaklak sa painting. Okay, bulaklak sa painting. So what does it symbolize? Okay, what is the idea kung bakit nagkaroon ng bulaklak dyan sa painting? Okay, so that is on the level of the mind, intellectual meaning. Let's proceed to the painting of Mondrian. Okay, the painting of Mondrian, he entitled it "The Composition with Red, Yellow, and Blue." This is in 1924. Let's try to analyze the visual elements. We have the colors, the red, the yellow, the blue, white, and black. Okay, what are the shapes? We have the rectangles and the square. The lines, we have the straight lines, the horizontal and vertical lines. So you see the visual elements here in the painting of Mondrian, the composition with red, yellow, and blue. This is the painting of Amor Solo, The Winnowing Rise in 1957. But let's analyze here the representation. Okay, so representations. Of course, you can easily identify the colors, the shapes, and the lines through the visual elements. Okay, how about the representations? On the representations, we have the people. Okay, we have the women or the women, the farmers, the animals. Okay, we have the chicken. Okay, carabao. And on the things, we have the trees, nipa hut, sky, clouds, mountains. And on the events, we have the winnowing. No, yung winnowing is nagtatahip. Planting. Okay, ito may mga may nagtatanim, no, mga farmers. Tapos may cooking, no, mayroon din nagluluto. So those are the representations. Let's take a look here on the painting of Munch. He entitled his painting The Scream in 1893. But we jump on the emotional suggestion. Siyempre, alam nyo na yung visual elements. What are the colors, the shapes, and the lines? So please identify the visual elements. And also the representations. People. Can you identify the people? Yan, mayroon dalawang lalaki na naglalakad. Meron din ditong parang matandang babae na nagulat, na natakot. Meron din ditong mga parang nagbabangka, no? Okay. Parang nasa park sila, tapos ito ay cloud. Okay. Tapos parang mayroong, I don't know, parang may tsunami, no? So, what does it suggest? What is the emotional suggestion? Based on the analysis, the suggestion is fear or terror, shown by the facial expression of the woman and by the curving lines of red, yellow, orange of the sky. Okay? Imaginein mo kung everyday paglabas mo ng bahay, ang makikita mong kulay ng clouds or ng sky ay orange. 'Di ba? Parang nakakatakot. Parang iisipin mo, ito na ba yung katapusan ng mundo? Tapos pagising mo uli, kinabukasan, ganun uli, no? Hanggang gabi. No? Parang katapusan na ng mundo. So, the suggestion or the emotional suggestion here is fear, nakakatakot, or terror. Let's proceed to the painting of Steinweg. Let's analyze the painting of Steinweg. He entitled his painting, The Vanities of Human Life in 1645. Of course, you can identify the visual elements. What are the colors, the shapes, the lines, etc. The representations. Yes, you can see it here. Okay, what are the representations, the things? Okay, you can see it here. The emotional suggestions. Of course, it is sadness. Okay. Why sadness? Kung akong tatanungin is because I can see here the skull. And skull represents death. And if there is death, then there is sadness. Okay. Let's proceed to the intellectual meanings, the concepts, the ideas, and the symbols of all these representations. Yung title ni Steinweg, The Vanities of Human Life, ay hango iyan from the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, meaning in Latin, memento mori. We reflect about death or reflecting about death. Okay, tignan natin kung bakit. Dark. Dark symbolizes pessimism, di ba? Negative. Pag may nakikita tayong dark or maitim, it symbolizes pessimism. Symbolizes evil. Okay. Skull. Okay. Skull represents or symbolizes death. Pag tayo ay namatay, then yung ating katawan, no, ay naaagnas at yung ating ulo, no, ay nagiging bungo. 'Di ba? Pag hinukay, nagiging bungo na lang for how many years? Okay? Pag tayo ay namatay. Clock. Clock symbolizes time. Na ang bawat tao ay may kanya-kanyang oras. Ako may kanyang oras. Ako ay mayroong sariling oras kung kailan ako mamamatay. Ikaw, meron ka ring sariling oras kung kailan ka mamamatay. Lahat tayo dito sa mundo ay mayroong sariling oras kung kailan tayo mamamatay. And we can never tell when is that time. Let's proceed. Lamp. Ito yon. Lamp symbolizes end of life. Diba? Kahit sindihan mo man yung lampara na yan, meron din yang katapusan. Namamatay din yung apoy ng lampara. Therefore, it symbolizes end of life. Lahat tayo ay mayroong hangganan. Lahat tayo ay mayroong kamatayan. Samurai symbolizes suicide. Okay, 'di ba doon sa Japan, no, if they want to take or if they want to commit suicide, they are using samurai. Anong tawag nila doon sa suicide? Harakiri. And yet it connotes death, suicide. Shell. Ito, no, shell. Shell symbolizes wealth. Bakit? Noong unang panahon, ang shell ay ginagamit nila bilang alkansya. No? Pag meron silang mga coins or gustong itago doon na maliliit, doon nila itinatago sa shell. Okay, that's why it symbolizes wealth. Musical instruments. Ito, saan yun ito? No, musical instruments. Yan. Symbolizes beauty. No, pag ikaw ay marunong magtugtog ng flute, pag ikaw ay marunong magtugtog ng, other musical instruments like piano, guitar, there is beauty on it. 'Di ba? Maraming naghumahanga sa iyo. No, maraming humahanga sa yung lalaki, maraming humahanga sa yung babae. And beauty. Musical instruments, there is beauty on it. Helmet. Helmet symbolizes power. Diba? Yung sa Vatican, no, where the Pope resides, no, it's like a helmet, no, yung mga Colosseum nila is like a helmet. Diba? Yung architectural design is like a helmet, and it symbolizes power. Okay. Jar. Jar means celebration. If there is jar, then it signifies celebration. Saan natin makikita yan? It's also in the Bible, no? Doon sa wedding at Cana. Lumapit si Mary, no? Lumapit yung kanyang mother ni Jesus at sinabing, "Anak, mauubusan na tayo ng alak." At yung alak ay nakalagay doon sa jar. Ano sabi ni Jesus? "Wag mo akong pangunahan." Ganon, no? Something like that. "Wag mo akong pangunahan. This is not yet my time." Pero doon siya nag-perform ng miracle, no? The wedding at Cana. Okay, so jar means celebration. Book. Book means knowledge, of course. Okay? So, doon tayo nakakagain ng knowledge sa pagbabasa, no? Pagbabasa ng aklat. Light, optimism, hope, and God. So, those are the symbolisms of light. There is optimism, hope, pag-asa, at Diyos. As opposed to dark, which is pessimism or evil. So I want you to listen on the song Dust in the Wind, composed by Kerry Livgren, and I want you to understand, I want you to analyze the meaning of the lyrics. Okay? It says here, "Now don't hang on, nothing lasts forever but the earth and the sky." It slips away and all your money won't another minute buy. Dust in the wind, all we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind, everything is dust in the wind. Which is true. Lahat ng bagay ay mayroong katapusan dito sa mundo. Kaya sabi niya, don't hang on. Kasi lahat yan kumukupas, lahat yan lumilipas, lahat yan nawawala. Don't hang on. The only constant in this world is change. Okay, lahat yan nagbabago. Ang ugali ng tao ay nagbabago. Okay? Minsan, pag bumili ka ng laptop na bago, later on, masisira din yan. Papalitan mo rin yan. But don't hang on kasi lahat yan nawawala. Okay? What remains is the earth and the sky. Now, for your activity, looking at the image, what insights or realizations you discover? Give at least 2. Okay, so looking at this image, the dot, okay, what realizations or insights you discover? Give at least 2. Of course, please be guided by the rubrics for the grading. So here on the analysis also, give at least 2 insights or realizations that you discover by looking at the image. And number 2, what do you think are the qualities of Philippine art? In your opinion, what makes Philippine art Filipino? Please come up with at least minimum of 50 words. For your assessment, if you were to add to the lesson, what would they be? Create new ideas, knowledge, and share it in the discussion. And number 2, why do you think this philosophical theory of art can be an avenue for the discussion and dissemination of these realities in our country? How can the recipients of artworks be more involved? And for your reflection, again, come up with at least minimum of 50 words. Examine the philosophical theory of art you learned. What significant lesson did you find it personal? Second, in what part of the lesson did you find easy or hard to illustrate in the way that you learned? Why? Okay, so that ends my presentation for this topic. Okay. Art and the human essence. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.